Hi, I'm Roy Clark. Now, I've been accused through the years of hitting some hot licks from time to time, some on purpose and some by accident. So you want to learn how to play guitar? Well, with the help of my buddy Paul here, we're going to try to help you. We're going to start you with the very basics of playing a guitar. I'm going to treat you just like you've never had one in your hands before. But I'm going to teach you, first of all, how to tune your guitar. Now, you take your guitar and make your strings sound as close to the tone of my strings as possible. We don't have to be perfect, but just where it doesn't hurt your ears. Now, the first string is the top string, the E string. You just run it up or down until it sounds close to this. The next string is the A string. Then the D string. Then the ever-present and much-loved G string. The next, the second string is the B string. And the first string is the little E. Now, if you still need some time to get your guitar in tune, it's obvious that you have a VCR. So just stop it, rewind it, and go through this process and get your guitar as close to as you can, and we'll proceed from there. Now, you need two hands to play guitar, just like you need two hands to handle a whopper. You also need a pick, because without a pick, you couldn't do picking and grinning. All right, now we're going to start. The left hand is the one that forms the chords. Now, we're going to start in the key of D. I'll explain that as we go along. Put your fingers on the frets and make the key of D. You use your pick in your right hand to strum. Now, that's just a chord. That's the chord, the D chord. Now, to play songs in the key of D, there are thousands of beautiful bluegrass, country, blues that you can play the entire song using just three chords. The 1, the 4, and the 5 of that key. Now, the 1 and the 4 and the 5 is very simple. It's exactly what it is on the scale. You start on the D, you count up 4, using D as the 1, and you come to the G. You count up one more, which is the 5, and you come to the A. 1, 4, 5. D, G, A, D, G, A, D. Form the chords with the left hand, strum with your right hand. Now, that 1, 4, 5 works in any key that you want to play in. Right, Paul?
If you say so, Roy.
That's right. Just count up. Say you're going to play in the key of G. G is the 1. Count up 4 is the C. Count up one more, which is the 5, is the D. Now, that's the 1, 4, 5 of the key of G. Not to be confused that you've hit D in the key of G, which D was the 1 chord in the key of D. Am I confusing me too? Thank you. Starting in G, the 1, the 4 is C, the 5 is D, the 1 is G. Same in A. A, count up 4 is D, count up one more is E, 1, 4, 5, E. Not to confuse you, but just to show you that 1, 4, 5 works in every key that you want to play in. Now, that's rhythm. That means that it has a pattern that you follow, because if you're going to hit your chords and just anytime you feel like it, strum down on the guitar, that doesn't make for much excitement. But if you play with a rhythm, in this case 4/4, most of the songs in the world were written with a 4/4 beat. And you start with the 1 on the bass string, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 chord, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chord, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Now I'm going to play rhythm with a 4/4 time to the 3 chords in the key of D. Play along with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. You notice when I was playing our 4/4 rhythm that I was starting with the bass string, and that was my 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You don't always have to do that. You can alternate your bass strings. The simplest way is just to pick the bass string and the one next to it, because you have already formed the chord. So just pick 1, 2, 4. You can come up with your own variations, but the same thing in G. And in A. Sounds a little more professional. Now what we've just done was actually play the chords to a song. You could sing along to it or play the melody on the guitar if you have 2 guitars there. And we're going to do a beautiful song that was an old song even when I was a kid, called I'm Thinking Tonight of My Blue Eyes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Well, how you feeling so far? How are your fingers feeling? You know, when I first started playing, I had to soak my fingers in ice water so they'd get numb enough for me to get back at it because I wanted to play so bad. Stay with it. It comes easier the more you do it. Now we're going to go to a new key. Let's play in the key of G. Now Now it's the same formula as we used before in the key of D. It's the 1, 4, 5 of the scale. Now G is your 1, so you count up G, there is no H, and you go to A, B, C is your 4 chord. 5 is D. So it's 1, 4, 5, G, C, D. We're going to play Red River Valley, which is, by the way, the first song I ever learned to play on the guitar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Now, as far as practice goes, I think practice comes easier if you call it something else. I used to call mine playing, just playing the guitar, which was practice. But when you say practice, that sounds like something I have to do. I have to do it this way. You don't have to do it this way. Do it any way that it feels good, and just do it in rhythm. Just play. Now we're going to go to a new key, the key of A. Same formula that we used before. A is 1, count up 4, is D, count up 1 more, which is the 5 chord, which is a new chord for us, the chord, the E chord. So that's A, 1, D, 4, E, 5, and that's the key of A. And we're also going to change rhythm on you. Before we had been playing 2/4 or 4/4 rhythm. Now we're going to go to waltz rhythm, which is 3/4 time. And my waltz man is Paul. Paul, how do you strum waltz rhythm?
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, Roy, but the way we do 4/4 time is by playing a bass note and a strum. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's a 1 bass note followed by 1 strum. But 3/4 time is a bass note followed by 2 strums, and it's counted 1, 2, 3, and then repeated. So it would be bass 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and continued on.
Right.
So let's play one. Let's play Amazing Grace. That's a nice waltz.
It's a beautiful waltz.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2.
Now we're going to go to a new key, the key of C, which contains a new chord, the F chord. Now we're going to go back also to 4/4 rhythm, and we're going to teach you the alternating bass of a chord and how it can run into your 4 chord or the next chord up. We'll start with C, the alternating bass, and then we're going to run it up to the F chord. Now I'll show you that again. We're going to go from the alternating bass in the C chord and tie it into the F chord.
Can you go back the other way?
Yes, you can. Then we can go from F back to C. The same thing we did going up. We just reverse it and go back. Now we're going to run the C down to the G7th, which is the 5th of the key of C. Like we run down from F to C, we do the same thing in C and run down to G7. And then back up to the 1 chord, which is C. And we're going to put them all together and go from C to F, from F to C, from C to G7th, and back to C. Almost sounds like a song. Do it again now, and I'll call out the chords to you. To F, back to C, to G7th, back to C. One more time. Up to F, back to C, to G7th, back to C. The first time I heard the Wildwood Flower, I heard Mother Maybelle Carter play it, and the Carter family sing it. I must have been in diapers, and it was probably an old song then. And the Wildwood Flower also is one of the first songs that you want to learn to play. I guess it's the Wildwood Flower first and then the Guitar Boogie second. But when you get those 2 tunes down, you are a pro.
Now, Maybelle Carter was one of the first country guitar players that played lead, and it seems like her lead playing was, her melodies originated out of playing bass runs, or the bass runs that you were just playing in the key of C there.
You are very observant.
I learned fast.
I know. In fact, Paul, if you take what we just did, playing those alternating bass lines with the walk-ups to F, back to C, to G7th, back to C. Now you'll find that melody is very close to what we just did. I mean, the melody of, say, the Wildwood Flower, which is one of the greatest country songs ever written and performed, as you said, by Mother Maybelle Carter. Now you'll find playing lead with that technique, with the bass strings playing the lead, that if the note that you want for the melody is not one of the notes that you've already fingered or an open string in that chord, it is very close. You don't have to start playing and go up and down the neck searching. It's all right there. And it's very easy. In fact, when you play melody on the bass strings, it gives the guitar a much fuller sound as opposed to
Because you're playing the bass and the rhythm all at
and
the
you're
same
playing a
time.
rhythm at the same time. So let's play Wildwood Flower, and I'll give you an example of how Mother Maybelle Carter played it.
Let's do it.
1, 2, 3.
One more time, Roy.
I just threw that in. I think you have to be a certain age to play guitar, to learn to play guitar, or just to pick it up and want to learn. And I think that age is probably between 3 and 95. At 95, I would take up banjo.
Now, Roy, when we played that Wildwood Flower, I noticed that you were doing some hammer-ons and some pull-offs on there.
I was what? Hammer-ons and pull. Yes, I know what you're talking about, Paul. A hammer-on is when you hit the string open and then come down on it with enough force that you get another note. You go. And a pull-off is exactly what it says. Put your finger on, pick it, and pull it off.
So it's the opposite.
It's the opposite. So you get 2 notes for the price of 1 pick.
I wondered how you were doing that.
A hammer-on, a pull-off. There's one thing we haven't talked about, and that's picking style. Now, there's a lot of different methods. The one that I find that works for me and really helps with speed and playing a song, an up-tempo song that has a lot of notes in it, is an up and down stroke. Now, which is not absolute and consistent, signed in blood, but for all intents and purposes, each note, every other note will be the opposite of. In other words, if this is a downstroke, the next note will be an upstroke, so that you're down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And I practice that day and night and day and night, really trying to get it all together. That way, if I'm making a scale run up, say in the key of G, it's all up and down strokes.
And it seems like that's the only way that you can play fast and clean is by going up and down with it.
Well, it is. It's really worked for me. Let's play a little Down Yonder, and I'll show you what I mean.
Let's do that one.
Good.
Like your daddy. a lot of guitar students, myself included, I have a hard time going from playing rhythm to being able to construct solos or to play single notes. I have a hard time going from the chords I'm playing into playing single notes.
You'd be surprised, Paul, that as you move along, that the things that we just started and that we just learned, how they apply themselves, only they just go up the scale. Like, and the way I play it, and I think most guitar players play, it looks like sometimes that we're just going up and down the neck,
You're all
seeking for notes.
I've seen you before, and you're
Okay.
all over the place.
But there is a method to my madness. Actually, I play out of positions. Take the D.
Okay, now I play the D down here,
All
but
right.
it's but
There
if I
is
go
another D position here. And there is another D position here. So if you're playing the melody of a song, say, and most melodies, well, all melodies will be within that chord, or within this chord, or within this chord, all D chords, but say, you can see how they get higher. So if you're playing a song, I just inadvertently went and played harmony to it out of that position. But if I'm playing here and I want to go higher, I just don't go up the neck with no guidance. I go up the neck mentally. I may not finger it that way, but I am thinking that position. If it's not there and it's higher, I think this position.
So you're playing a higher inversion of the same chord.
Exactly.
So what are the 3 chord positions that we need to know?
This position, this position, this position. The same with here. Now, but we're going to start with the final position in D down at the G.
So this is the same position that you played up here, played down at the third,
The third fret becomes a G, and then the D position
at the 7th fret
becomes a G, and then the middle position in D is another G.
And they all sound like my G chord down here.
Right.
Now, can you give me an example of playing a song out of this chord position without moving your fingers very much?
All right, well, let's just make an extension of that then. If we're going to do that, instead of playing open strings, we'll make it the D chord, only we're barring the first 3 strings, putting down, but you can tell to look at it, it's still a D chord.
I thought the F chord was hard. Now I have to play 3 strings with one
It's
finger.
very easily. You use your
that's not
thumb
too
on the
bad.
back to pressure.
That's not so bad.
Then, actually, you're forming a C chord with these 3 fingers.
Oh, I see. So it's like this C chord
It's
slid
moved up. Right. Now, if I'm going to play out of that position, which is very easy to look at and see what's happening,
Mr. Clark, will you play that slower?
well, let's just play the scale and use that position. And you can see how it winds up. Or can easily be done in open. But if you learn to play here, in this position, you can move that anywhere on the neck and be in a different key and do the same thing. Do it in the key of F. Same thing that we learned in D, we do it in F here. Move it down, we're in E. Anywhere on the neck, same fingering, same position, different key. So if you learn to get away from open strings, now open strings are great. They're great for sound, they're great, they have a nice ring to them, but sometimes you want to play melodies and keep them all contained. So then you go, if you learn these positions, then you can move that anywhere on the neck. Same as a G position, which is an F position. We always refer to that as the basic, regardless of where it is, as the F position, because I guess it started out on the 1st fret and it's F. We move it up to the 3rd fret, it's G.
And here's the 3 little notes that we started with in the first place. It's all an extension of the full chord. I see.
And which is back up to the D position. Or in this case, we've elongated it and made it a C position.
Oh, so it's not as hard as you make it look.
No, it isn't. And then when you get to playing melodies, if I'm playing a melody here, I can do the same thing here, same fingering in a different key. And you think that as you're playing melody, picking out the single note melodies to songs, you picture those chord progressions in your head. And so I know that the notes that I want are not, they don't have to be down here or up here. They're all in here.
They're all at your fingertips.
Yes.
Well, you want to play that old I Ain't Got No Buddy, but I noticed you play it out of the key of C.
Yeah.
But I learned it out of the key of G, and I got a capo here.
He has a Capodiastro, folks.
Better known as a cheater.
You know what that actually does? Well, I know you know what it does. But for some of you folks that have never seen one, what this actually does, this bar here actually moves the nut anywhere on the neck that you want it. So if he wants to play in the key of C in a G position, then he just moves it up until his G position is in the C, and he's got, it also gives the guitar, I think, a pretty ring to it.
It does. There's a lot of reasons besides not learning a new chord. It gives it a nice, you can still play an open sound, but it's high up the neck, so the strings are a little bit higher. So
another helpful hint, if you have an old guitar at the house, maybe that your granddad left to you, and the strings have gotten a little high off the neck, you'll find if you get yourself a capo and put it on, it will help bring that down and make it easier to play. That's another way that it cheats.
All right, so I've put the capo at the 5th fret, and I'm going to play at a G, and it should sound like your C chord.
And I'm hitting our old familiar C.
Well, that's a good way for 2 guitars to sound different and still play in the same key.
That's right. I don't love nobody.
Let's do it.
A 1, 2, do it. The reason I'm doing this tape is I know there are a lot of folks out there, young and old alike, who have either wanted to or have been putting off picking up a guitar and learning to play. Now this, what I'm trying to teach, is just enough to let you have a little fun with it. If you want to go on and pursue it and get a degree in music, that's great, and I encourage you to do that. But this is really if you just want to learn to amaze yourself and your family and sit around, and I think music is contagious. It's the most beautiful thing on this earth. If it wasn't for music, our lives would be a lot worse off. But music will smooth over some of the rough spots in your life if you do it for no other reason than just to sit around on the porch and play for yourself and your friends. That's the reason. All right, we're getting ready to play our closing song. Now this song has one chord that you haven't learned yet, and that's the D minor. And that one is played thusly. It's like a D chord that you turn your first 2 fingers around on. Well, Paul, we're about come to the end of our little video.
About ready to wrap it up.
Yes. Some of you out there may go on from this and become maestros and be revered the world over. Remember, this is a video. So you can work at your own pace. You can rewind it and go along, and if you don't feel all that comfortable about it, just run it back and play it until you do feel comfortable, and then move on up. As your confidence builds, then in fact you may want to play along in a fast forward mode before it's over. But I invite you to join Paul and I and play a tune that we started out with. In fact, a song that won me my first Grammy, and it's called the Alabama Jubilee. Are you ready, Paul?
Let's do it.
All right, 1, 2, do it. You ought to see Deacon Jones, oh, when he rattled and bones. Old Parson Brown hopping round like a clown. Oh, let your mama, she's past 83, shouting now that I'm full of pepper. Oh, boy, that felt good. And hollered, hey, let her go, honey. Hail, hail, the gang's all here with Alabama Jubilee. Alabama, Alabama, and come Jubilee. Keep picking.